Our lesson for today will be looking at chemistry 1502. The topic for today will be looking at Alkenes reaction. The reaction that we'll be focusing on is hydration of alkenes. Lesson 101, let us start. Hydration of alkenes, it's when we hydrate alkenes. We simply add water, specifically water molecules together with acids. Dehydration is when we remove water from an organic compound. So for this reaction, we require alkenes and water molecules together with acids. But our acids will be in a form of catalyst. So we are going to need catalysts. Then the catalyst, the most common catalyst we'll be using, it's hydrogen ion, hydronium ion. We'll be having sulfuric acid and other acids, but these are the most common which we'll be using in this lesson video. Let us jump to it. The first example. In this lesson, we'll only be looking at the basic reaction to form products. The next lesson video, we'll be looking at the mechanism for this reaction. Lesson 102 of hydration will involve the mechanism. So let us look at 2-methyl prop 2-ene. We hydrate this with water molecule. It will yield, but remember that we need a catalyst. So let's say we use hydrogen ion as our catalyst. So let us focus on, or let us talk about the procedure. So the procedure follows that we add hydrogen atom and hydroxide group across the double bond. So we have to express this in a form or in a way that we have something like this. We have hydrogen and OH. Remember, it's H2O. So you can see that we have hydrogen and OH group. So like any other alkene reaction, we look at the carbons which they involved in the double bond. So you should know that one of the carbons will have this hydrogen, the other one will have our OH group. That is the main procedure, or the first procedure that we have to follow in order to write down the product. And catalyst is very much important and needed for this reaction to take place. After identifying the carbons which are involved in the double bond, we are going to take the hydroxide group and add it to the more substituted carbon, and the hydrogen will be added to the less substituted carbon. So you should know that more substituted carbon will take the OH. Less substituted carbon will take the hydrogen. So you can see that this also, it is based on Markovnikov's rule. So looking at these two carbons, looking at this one, we have 1, 2, 3 tri-substituted. Looking at this one, we have only 1, 2. So you can see that this is a tertiary carbon, this is a secondary carbon. So in this case, our OH will take the more substituted, the hydrogen will take the less substituted. So looking at the product, remember we no longer have the double bond. Make sure I write it like this. So here we are going to have our OH, then we are going to have our hydrogen here. So this is the product, which is 2-methyl butan 2-ol. Our second example, add it with H2O. We can write it like this. In the presence of sulfuric acid. So let us look at the carbons which are involved in the double bond. You can see that this one is more substituted compared to this one. Markov-Nikov rules. So we have OH here. We know that here we are going to have our hydrogen, but we don't have to write it. So this is the product. So pause the video, work this out, and play the video to verify your answer. What would be the product? So in this case, you should know that we are not going to have any reaction. The reason why we need an acid. In this case, I did not mention any acid. So this reaction will not take place without an acid. Keep that in mind, especially when you're dealing with multiple choice questions. You might find that you are given a reaction without an acid. When you look at the reaction, it has the properties of hydration, but there's no acid. You should know that there's no reaction that will take place. So let's say in the presence of hydrogen ion. So we start by identifying. We have this carbon here and this one. You can see you have secondary carbon and primary carbon. So our product, more substituted, will take the OH. Less substituted will take the hydrogen. We can say is the formation of alcohols. Hydration of alkenes will yield alcohol. Now let me twist the question a bit. Suppose we are looking for an alkene that reacted with water under the presence of sulfuric acid to form this product here. So I'm trying to say, looking at the product, can you be able to tell which reactant we have? Let me put another methyl here. So you can see that the possibilities are, maybe we have hydrogen here, which was added, and then it simply means that between this carbon and this one, we had a double bond, and somehow this one was the more substituted carbon compared to this one. So our reactant, we can safely say we had a methyl, and then a double bond was here. Or another possibility is that the hydrogen was here, which was added during the hydration, and the double bond might be here. Actually, the structure is not complete. We need this methyl here, this one here. So it's either it can be this one, or I'm not sure if this color is visible enough, or this one here. The double bond can be here. Then we have our methyls here. So this is one of the reaction where we use the rule of Markov-Nikov, and only this is the basics. The next lesson video we will be looking at the mechanism. That's it for this lesson video. This is Wakula SJ. Thank you very much.